4th down and goal, and the play clock is down to 3. And here we go, and Wilson throws, caught, and it is going to be Hollister.
This is total insanity.
The previous play will go under review.
We'll go back to the inception of the play. Hollister gets taken down. Ooh.
I
Looks short to me.
Say he was across the line. It's just the opposite of the Atlanta game that they. Holy cow!
After review, completed pass receiver was down short of the goal line. San Francisco will take over on down. First down.
What a way for the 100th year to end.
That really was a way for the NFL's 100th regular season.
Game of inches.
Just like the Falcons-49ers game from a couple of weeks ago. In that case, though, the ball kissed. All it has to do is kiss the goal line. Any part of it, the front of it, any part of the ball crosses that front, touches that front, it's a touchdown. It was so close. Credit to Dre Greenlaw for the tackle that he made.
Big time tackle.
At the goal line to keep Jacob Hollister out. It was a crazy final sequence. It felt inevitable the Seahawks were going to win that game. As they were getting closer and closer to the goal line, there was just this sense building. And I wanted a play from the one. I needed a play from the one. And it looked like for a brief moment in time we were going to get a play from the one.
Well, I mean, we should have got a play from the 1-3 plays before that, but somehow Seattle forgot there's a play clock in the National Football League. So that's where
Did you check the rule book?
I checked the rule book, and there's a play clock. I mean, the funniest.
That's the first time you've ever said that where it's actually accurate.
Yes. Well, the funniest thing about it, I seriously was explaining the play clock to my wife, like within the 2 to 3 plays before this, because she's still learning football, even though she's been around it for 20 years now. But regardless, that was a huge moment too. You spike the ball and then have no plan of attack. Spike the ball.
Well, let's reset it too. 42 seconds left, 4th and 10 on the San Fran 12. The pass was completed inside the one
to get the first down.
But tick, 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 tick.
Right, and it just seemed like there's spike the ball. There's no problem with that. I get it, but then it just seemed like the Seattle Seahawks sideline was flustered as far as what personnel, what to do, and then they got no plays from the one, which led to the series of events there, and the last play being that. But I think the biggest thing that jumps out to me is just how close the NFL is. It's crazy. I mean, that's the difference between a home playoff game for the Seahawks and now going on the road to Philadelphia. The 49ers, who had a 4th and 2 and were down to the Saints, they make that play, and then this play right here, and that's the difference between them having to be on the road in a 5th seed and a home field advantage. So just an amazing year. Amazing to finish the 100th season that way, and an awesome game last night, because I thought the 49ers were going to kind of run away with it at one point.
Let's get back to that last sequence, though, because the 49ers were able to keep the ball out of the end zone on that 4th and 10 play from the 12. The Seahawks rushed to the line of scrimmage. George Fant was injured. He had to hustle to get up there so that the ball could be spiked. And if you're watching on NBCSN, you'll see the full sequence. But that delay of game, that's inexcusable. Right? And what Pete Carroll said after the game is there were no backs to play before. We called the personnel and just didn't get it communicated with the backs, and we were just late. And I don't know that I buy that, because Marshawn Lynch was out on the field. The crowd reacted.
I remember seeing him go out too. You're right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, it was a little late getting on the field for sure, but it still seemed like Seattle had no clue. I mean, they were in the huddle still when they had to call the timeout. So it's like they had lost track of, like, oh, there's a play clock. We're down at the 1. It's really exciting, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's almost like the Super Bowl 49 against the Patriots.
And here's my theory.
Yeah.
They got all twisted up, right? Here they are at the 1.
Right.
Key moment. Marshawn Lynch is in.
Yeah, should we run the ball?
What do we do? Yeah, we better get this right.
He leaked
what do we got
earlier
here?
in the
we
game.
got to get this right.
Right.
Everybody's aware of that 5 years later, and I feel like they were hyper aware of it. They were so aware of it that they forgot that little clock in the end zone that works its way down to 0, because it was like it wasn't even a consideration. Usually you'll see at some point somebody realizes, oh, crap, let's go. And that never happened. It was just like an afterthought. Double zeros. Oops, 5 yards back.
Yeah, it totally caught them by surprise. I mean, Russell Wilson looked surprised in the huddle when they called timeout. So that was inexcusable. And
But that wasn't the end of it.
It was not the end of it.
They still had chances.
They still had chances, but their chances would have been greater from the 1. And, yeah, okay, I still don't know if you can run the ball there. I mean, we know that's going to be dicey, right? But
right, because if you no timeouts,
no
and you get tackled,
timeouts, you're right. You're probably screwed. You maybe get to run one more play, and that's it. So, yeah, I understand that too, but your chances and your playbook are different on 3rd and 1. And play action, from the 1-yard line, and play action's available too. And bootlegs are available, and sprint passes and things like that are not going to be available now when you're at the 6-yard line. So I think that was the big thing overall.
Play action to Marshawn Lynch from the
1. Whatever it may be. He ran it in from the 1 already. You fake it to him up the middle. Russell Wilson bootlegs out, and they're so expecting Marshawn up the middle that they don't cover somebody. Who knows what happened?
There was a play. There was a play earlier in the game that felt like an express nod to Super Bowl 49, where it looked like it was going to be a run to Marshawn Lynch. And they either did a fake handoff or a fake pitch, and then they set it up. They were going to throw it to him, but he was covered.
Right.
But I just feel forget about Super Bowl 49. Just flush that for good. Don't let that hover over you when you get to the 1-yard line. And that was Marshawn Lynch's first game back in a long time, and I can understand why it was an issue.
Sure.
But even then, right? What did you think of the 3rd and goal play from the 5? Where Jacob Hollister and Fred Warner made contact in the end zone? There was no full-blown replay review for pass interference.
Right.
Al Riveron, the senior VP of officiating, told a pool reporter after the game that they looked at it but didn't trigger the full-blown, we're going to take a close look at it. Did you see anything there that made you think there may have been defensive pass interference?
Well, definitely. And it's not the initial contact because, again, like Fred Warner linebackers, they have the right to the space they're in. Hollister runs into him, and here it is on TV if you're watching on TV. So I have no problem with the initial contact. My problem is once Hollister pulls away, without a doubt, Fred Warner's interfering. He's holding with his left arm, Jacob Hollister's right arm, and with Fred Warner's right arm, he has his right hand on Jacob Hollister's shoulder. So, from what we saw this year, that to me looked like it was a going. Terry McCauley said it. I would think the NFL is going to look at this. That was one to me where it looked clear and obvious, where I would just go, "Oh, they're gonna overturn this. It's going to be PI, and they're going to get the ball at the 1-yard line again." That's what I was thinking when I originally saw the play. What was your thought?
Yeah, it wasn't blatant. It wasn't egregious. It's one of those that's going to fall into that gray area where you wonder how aggressive will Al Riveron and the league office be in the postseason with plays like this. Because as regular season plays go, this was as significant as any could be with all the different ramifications and all the tentacles. You've got the Saints who got screwed by this non-call because they lose their bye. The Packers lose the 1 seed. Right. Although the Packers, I said this earlier, they can't be all that upset because it's like complaining about a really good Christmas gift that it wasn't good enough. Being the 2 seed for them. Being the 2 seed for them is pretty damn good. But for the Saints now, they have an extra round. They have an extra level they have to play, and then they have to go on the road. So the Saints have to look at it and say, what the hell? The Seahawks look at it and say, what the hell? And we still, all year long, have never gotten full clarity on when and how this rule is going to be used. And every time it's used, we get the magic words. We get the abracadabra. But sometimes the abracadabra doesn't mesh with everything that happened before it, and we just are expected to accept it and move on and forget what our lying eyes may be telling us.
Yeah, well, that's my problem with this rule in general. I just think they need to get rid of it. It's just causes issues. Here we are. It was a great game, but we're going to spend 2 or 3 minutes on that because, like you always say, 50 guys in a bar, I would bet you more than half thought that was pass interference. For sure. I would say probably 40 out of the 50 are going to say that's pass interference. So, it's just annoying that we got to constantly talk about it and deal with it, and I wish they would just not review pass interference at all going forward until they figure out a better way to do it.
And even with all that, Russell Wilson went back to the Jacob Hollister well on the 4th down play, and Dre Greenlaw, what a stop at the goal line. This was the gift that kept on giving. There were like 10 moments all crammed into that final
Seattle
few
never
minutes.
dies.
They
never die.
Hollister, if Greenlaw does not make that tackle at the goal line, the ball touches the plane. The ball does enough that it's a touchdown, and the 49ers lose and the Seahawks win.
Right.
What a finish that was. Unbelievable
Stats
to
made
have
a
it
good
come
point
down to that.
too, like where I heard him say, Stats goes, he went high, right? Which I do agree with Stats there. Like the fact that he goes high stops all momentum and the ball is spotted there. Instead of like if he tried to take his legs out or hit him in the knees, Hollister's probably going to fall forward and end up in the end zone.
How much of that we saw last night is the product of
Julio
coaching
Jones
points that emerged
Could be.
when Julio Jones got the ball in 2 weeks ago?
Could be. It seemed like a very similar coverage as far as what they were doing, and I'd like to break it down more, and probably will for my podcast later. But definitely a teaching
can't do
moment.
It for this show?
Well, I can't tell
save
everything.
it for my podcast.
I need to see the film. I just need to say, but yes, regardless. The one thing I'll say that it probably did for the San Francisco 49ers more than anything was prepare them when they're in that coverage that they're very susceptible in that area to that route. And if you go back, and guys, if we could show that play one more time from the start there, like you can see Greenlaw, from the start of this play, he is out there, but his eyes are across the field. If you watch him here, Mike, go ahead, check him out here. So roll the tape. Greenlaw's on the top hash there, basically. Look, he's shuffling to his left, but look how quick his eyes came back across the field as Russell Wilson was throwing the ball. He was very prepared for it to have that body presence there.
He takes one more step to the left,
and it's going to be
Seahawks win.
Seahawks win.
Packers are the 1 seed. Saints are the 2 seed.
Yeah.
It really is amazing that 256 games can come down to that.
But the 49ers were the better team, at least in my
Yes.
opinion. That's where I do believe that is where it's easier to swallow with a bad pass interference call. The 49ers had many chances to put the game away early. And just like we've seen here in recent history in the NFL, when you don't put teams away, and especially great quarterbacks away, like your Vikings didn't do to Aaron Rodgers on Monday night a few weeks ago, or the Lions yesterday to Aaron Rodgers, right? It just same thing with Russell Wilson here. Here you go. You're going, man, the 49ers controlled this game. The Seattle Seahawks defense couldn't stop them. But they keep giving Russell Wilson the ball. He keeps converting third downs and making great throws on the sidelines to DK Metcalf. And you're going, here they go. They're going to go down the field and score a touchdown.
Yeah, it really was a great game. And the 49ers are the better team. And you know what? The way that the dominoes fall, we may see a rematch of the Seahawks and the 49ers. We may be there for that one, divisional round, or it could be conference championship, depending upon the way things all play out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.